we've done over 12 miles already. Let's see, can you see it? 12.7 to be exact. Rode down to the town of Dalton, and now we're heading back to the van. It's warmed up enough where I took my face mask hood off. I'm probably going to regret that, but I can always stop and put it back on. But the sun is peeking out more now than not, so it's turning into a pretty decent November day. It's probably right around 40 degrees. We have seen a few deer. 2 sets of 2 we've seen. We may see a few more. It's the perfect weather for them to be up moving around, but I think we'd see a lot more if it wasn't for this trail being surrounded by high banks. Pretty sure it used to be an old railroad, so they cut through hills rather than whooping over them. Yeah, other than a few deer that we've seen, this is a very boring trail because you're locked in. Your scenery is limited to, high banks on both sides. For the most part, there are some scenic areas now, don't get me wrong. There's enough scenic areas where it's almost worth riding again, but not for me. Now the next time I ride this, I'll drive to the town of Dalton and ride it from there to the next town. And if that's a pretty decent ride, I may even go a little further to the next town after that. But we'll do sections at a time until we complete the whole thing. The whole thing's basically 55 miles long, and we just did 10 of it, going from where we started to Dalton. So really 45 miles left. I could do all that easily one day. I could have done the 55 if the scenery was worth it, but you got to turn around and ride that 55 back, and with an electric bike, if you ain't charging it at the other end, it's going to be a long ass ride with no power. But there's a few scenic spots like this here and there, but for the most part, no. But I got it on video, so I can say that I actually did it. The first 10 miles from the trailhead to Dalton, I've done it. Won't do it again unless I'm doing it for, a speed record to see how quickly I can do it and back. Because really, this trail right here is perfect for that. If you're the kind of person that just likes to ride to stay fit and you want to burn calories, hell yeah, this is perfect for that. But if you're the kind of rider that likes to look around and see some scenery and out through the countryside rather than what you're looking at right now, just high walls, then yeah, you don't want to ride this section anyway. It might open up from Dalton on, I don't know, but I don't particularly like this section. have left that hood on, but I think we'll be alright. Riding this today because it rained pretty much all day yesterday, and anywhere there's going to be dirt trails, it's going to be mud, and cleaning an electric bike from mud takes a minute. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not clean mud off my bike today. So we're riding paved trail just to get a ride in. Being the 1st of November and there's no snow and it's not frozen yet, we're doing good right now. Because it all could change in a week. If it snowed yesterday instead of rain, there'd probably be 2 inches on the ground. That would have been an interesting ride. You know, in a white background, I would have been into that. I'm actually looking forward to my first snow ride. Creek down here. See if I can find an opening where I can look down there. Ooh. You can kind of see it down there. They're not real good about making the scenery good on this trail, that's for sure. This should be all opened up. The more scenery you have, the more people you come ride your trails. The more money you make in town. People are putting padlocks on it though. They're starting to come around. Yeah. This section is pretty boring, I'll give it that. You don't get a lot of wide open scenery. They don't do much effort to, like that bridge. It wouldn't take much to clean up a few branches on those trees and make that scenery worth it. In the summertime that'd be so thick with leaves you wouldn't be able to even see down there. None of this. You wouldn't be able to see out through there. Very little of it. That's pretty cool right there. It's a nice chunk of private property right there. There are trails all around there. I can see them from here. You probably can't, but it's like four-wheeler trails. going up and around that ridge. Be fun. That would be fun property to play on with motorcycles and ATVs and hunting, and really good recreational land right there for sure. There's all kinds of trails back there. Up a little bit here and there so you can see stuff. Definitely a cool, crispy day. Trail. Pretty nice place. Freshly painted. a whole lot of traffic here, so I'm pretty sure we can just keep a rolling. Just smells like hunting season right now. Just gives it that whole vibe. Going to be looking for some lunch after this. Whew. It's not a difficult ride at all. It is non-stop pedaling though, so take that into account if you're going to ride this with an actual manual bicycle, non-electric. We'll be pedaling all the time. Duck down there, or beaver, or muskrat. No, duck. Two of them. Watch where I'm going. It's a cool little creek running through the bottom of that guy's property. Pretty neat. I was gawking at that on the road right off the road. Got a nice little setup right over there. Target range over there. That's kind of cool. It's on private property, but it's neat how they made it. Setup over here. He's got trails coming all the way over to here with a rowboat trail going into this pond. That's nice setup. Nice high ridge over there. What makes a bike trail is the scenery. Once you get locked in between where you don't have much scenery, then it just becomes boring and nobody really wants to ride it. Like it comes down into this little valley here, and then it slowly starts to climb up the hill up over there. Quite chilly right now. With the wind blowing in my face, I should have left my face mask hood on. You can probably tell by the way I'm talking, my face is cold. Got a few miles to go yet too. I got 5-6 miles to go yet. Maybe more. I'm starting to think it's a better ride from Dalton to Fergus than it is from Fergus to Dalton. So far the ride back has been a hell of a lot more scenic. You still get, you know, boring views like coming up here when it's cut through a mountain rather than going up over it. But the views coming back seem to be way better. You get to see up on the ridges before you get stuck in between them. They didn't get that view. Trail. It might be private property, but there are some nature trails out here. I guess if you know where they are, then you know, but culvert right there. I looked out over the bank, looked like it was tore up from digging. red eagle's nest. I don't know if you can see it the way I'm turning my head, but yeah. This is definitely a long, gradual climb. I'm feeling it right now. Definitely a really good fitness trail. Burn. Vehicles going by thinking I'm probably crazy as hell out here in this cold ass weather. You dress for it, it's not so bad. My face is getting a little chilly because I took my face mask off. I thought the sun was going to come out, but that fooled me. We are kind of riding into the wind now, what little bit of wind there is. So my fingertips are getting a little chilly because they're just kind of stuck out there, you know. Not totally uncomfortable. Pedaling though. Whew. The whole way out and the whole way back. Constant pedal. Crossing that road here pretty quick. That one over there. That will be on the home stretch. it, but it's a long, gradual climb. Oh, stand up for a second. Now I got a little downhill going. Alright, home stretch. About 5 to 6 miles before we get there. I'm surprised there's not a trail that goes down there from here. It looks like there used to be. They blocked it off. But I'm just surprised kids haven't made, you know, a hiking trail or anything. Oh, there is, right here. I see it. Next time we'll do that. Yeah, I see it. Just gotta sneak down over to it. Hell yeah. Home stretch. Alright. My butt will be ready for a different seat. I know that. That's for dang sure. Looks like the sunny, clear skies were below us all day. What little bit of clear sky there was is pretty much over there. We missed it. I thought we were going to ride into it, but it stayed just south of us. So we had the gloomy, cool, snow-looking day all day, but it was worth it. It'll end up being a over 20-mile ride by the time we get back. Probably 23, 24 miles, I'm guessing. Non-stop pedaling, except for that little bit of downhill just a minute ago. That wasn't nothing. The ride back from Dalton is way better than the ride down to Dalton. Absolutely, for sure. As far as views, anyway, as far as the ride, it doesn't really matter. It's about the same. Might be a little bit more strenuous coming back from Dalton. Long gradual, which we're still doing. It seems to be a lot longer on the way back. Maybe it's because we've already ridden 12 miles before we turned around. So there's fatigue as well, but it still feels like this gradual increase good though. Better than sitting around. Tomorrow's supposed to be a nicer day, so I might hit up a state park and do some off-roading tomorrow. The dirt road should be a little drier, enough where I can avoid puddles anyway. I've definitely had enough of the paved trails. They don't really do much for me. Most of the time they're made and set up to be the easier of the rides. Multi-trail, multi-purpose trail, hiking, biking, rollerblading. You know, they make it easy to use for all those things. This trail would be great if you had one of those one wheels. Buddy might want to get one of those. That'd be awesome. I wonder what the range is on those. How far can you go on a one wheel? I suppose it's like anything else. It depends on how much money you want to spend and how much you abuse it. I suppose if you go rat out, balls to the walls all the time, you're not going to get quite as much battery life as you would if you were just mildly cruising. Definitely feeling this burn way more than going down the Dalton. Yeah, it's kind of down southeast. We're going northwest now. Kind of nice to have their own access to the housing development back there. That's cool. Black squirrel. There's quite a few of them around Minnesota. I don't know where he went, but he's right in there somewhere. No trespassing. It's a pretty nice view right there, I must say. So is that. Steps that go down. Suppose if you wanted to ride your bike down here and go swimming. Yeah, I see the old railroad rock down this bank. So there is some evidence of being a railroad at one point. I don't know how much of it's coming out on the camera, probably not a whole lot. But you can see it down there on the shoreline too, where it's all been washed down over the years. People kicking it down, fishing the shoreline. Evidently you can walk down right there. That's kind of cool. We're missing all kinds of scenery over here because I'm gawking on the bank over there. That on the way out. That's crazy. Oh, it's gotta be this one. Gotta be this entrance right here. Oh, I know. Yeah, I do. This is where that old campground is. Yeah, never mind. You gotta go all the way around to get to that. We were in there on the way out, so we're not far from the end now. Yeah, we're pretty close to the beginning. See coming out here. I know I'm getting hungry. I'll be ready for some food. Should I completely destroy the bike ride calorie burning and go into Fergus Falls and find some crappy ass junk food? Because there's plenty of that there. A nature viewing area. That's a city park over there. You can see the baseball field and the grandstands and all that across the lake. So we're really close to the end now. I'm starting to see traffic that goes into Fergus way down there. Usually when you start to see people walking, you know you're close to the end because they don't walk that far. But yeah, supposedly there's trails out there that you can hike on. got some wildlife management area out there. Both sides, I believe, for a little bit. But that side for sure. Here's one right here. Here's one of the trails. And it goes on out through there. This would be a good time of year to do it because you wouldn't get ticks on you. Pretty much all the migratory birds are blown south. Damn close to being on their way. Here's another trail. I don't know. Yeah, we're really close to the end now. Should make it easy for people to fish here. Whoa, big hole in the road there. People would hike down here and do some fishing. This guy sees me and doesn't let me talk underneath the tires. Left there, sir. Thank you. Oh yeah, here's where we started. You can see all the structure up there. Kind of see the van. And this is where we go up.